This has to be one of the biggest red flag answers I have ever seen on Hinge. So he says, you should not go out with him if you are a feminist, God, take selfie in the toilet, foodie, piggy, in open brackets, materialistic, serial dater, attention seeker, lazy, poor hygiene, holding a drink, in all your photos, alcoholic. This is so confusing because apparently if you're a foodie, you're a piggy and he won't go out with you. Good grief. It is a jungle out there.
How are these red flags? He doesn't want a smelly, obese fembot who rides the carousel and is a self-entitled, lazy attention seeker who drinks too much alcohol. She is basically saying men are not allowed to have any standards, and if they do and she doesn't like it, it's a red flag.
Really, everything was a red flag.
I don't know if this is oversharing, but I'm gonna share it with you anyways. So you know how on Hinge, right? Like you have to like send a rose if you want to like match with someone and you're like 3 times more likely to go on a date with them. Well, I ran out of roses because I didn't even know what they were. So I found this man on my roses like little compatibility thing and he was fine as hell. I'm talking like one of the finest men I've ever seen in my entire life. Like 6 foot above, curly brown hair, strong build. Girl, like I was giggling as fuck. And so I was like, oh my god, like I really want to match with him. And then I clicked on it and it was like, oh, you ran out of roses. And I'm like, bitch, and I'm not about to go spend some money just so I can match with a man. No. So he had his Instagram in his profile. So I was like, would it be desperate if I like requested him on Instagram? I requested him on Instagram. Okay, but this is what I wrote. I wrote, confession, I found your profile on Hinge. Question, how is a man like you still single? He was like, oh, that's like a cute way to put it. Damn, you're very forward. Good question, but I don't know. We've only been texting for like literally less than 24 hours. I really hope that he's not a dry texter because all the good looking men are horrible texters. Okay? They just got no riz. They have no riz.
She was giggly about Chad just by looking at his picture. He doesn't need any game or riz to be able to get with her. I would even go further to say he could insult her and call her names and she'll probably giggle and still let him smash on the first date.
Of course she will.
Okay, so I have beef with Tinder and I'm going to tell you why. Last summer I went on a date with a guy and I knew he was a little bit older, but I don't even look at ages anymore because all I have to look at are pics and bios. Tinder has that handy dandy age range preference sliding scale. Last summer I was 29, so I had it a couple years younger and I had it all the way up to 39. I was like, well, I've never dated anybody 10 years older than me, but like I can make that work. I'm mature. They'll be mature. Spoiler alert, they're not mature. Not the point. So we go on this date. It's not bad. We have a good time. He's nice. Nice enough that we end up hooking up. And while we're hooking up, he goes, so, are you bothered by our age gap? And I'm like, I don't really remember how old you are. How old are you? And he goes, 46. What? My only point of reference for that is that it's a year older than my oldest sibling. Okay, so I'm like, oh, do you have that on your Tinder? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, interesting. I don't remember having that on my Tinder. So I'm over here just like processing. And he's like, yeah, my last girlfriend was 27. Are you kidding me? 19 years younger than you? Gross. Ick. And then he starts complaining about her. Double ick. So I go back home. Thankfully, like, the rest of the date was fine and he wasn't a predator. Thank goodness. I go back home. I look at his profile. It has his name, no age. Curious. So I go back to my age preferences. Yup. Still maxed out at 39. And that's the day that I figured out that if you pay Tinder money, they will catfish for you. Yep. They will hide your age range and they'll just put you in the swiping feed. No matter anybody else's age preferences, you just pay them money and they'll toss you right in. And I tried to complain. Not that he was a bad guy, but that I was like, this situation is effed. And now I'm uncomfy. And I'm trying to help and support on the app. Can't contact them. I'm trying to Google customer service. Can't contact them. Because with all their other issues, they have little figured out. But you know what they do have figured out? Capitalism. You pay them money, they will catfish for you. So we have beef, Tinder. I deleted you. You're messed up. Catch me outside.
Let's take the time to acknowledge that she likes to get smashed on the first date without even asking what the guy's age is. He was not dishonest at all. Tinder allows you to hide your age if you pay for a subscription, and when she got the chance to ask him his age, he was clear and honest. The only problem is, she was already in the middle of getting her back blown out when she asked him.
Too late now.